Understand this, the most diabolical people on the planet think that they're doing good, think that they're saving the planet, okay? Saving the world. And if you understand that, you also understand a lot about yourself, okay? I think one of the greatest things to understand about ourselves is that we are genuinely good people, but the line between good and evil doesn't exist. It exists in our imagination, in our own minds, maybe in the collective unconscious somehow, but there's not really any tangible line that we can draw, okay? Like, we know that people who do atrocious crimes and, sickening acts, of course we see that as evil. But they justify it using that I'm actually doing good. You see what I'm saying? So everybody kind of thinks that that's the enemy, that's the enemy. So if you go around seeking your enemy, you'll get it, okay? You'll see your enemy everywhere. That's a bad strategy. If you tell yourself that I'm the enemy of whatever is out there, it makes you see the good. Do you get the flip? Okay? Most black pillars, and I know you guys, man, okay? I probably used to be one of you guys at a certain point. You have unconscious blind spots. You have things that you can't see, okay, that you're frustrated with, that only a coach or a mentor or a counselor can even tell, or a psychologist, right? You have unintegrated shadow. What does that mean? You haven't faced the darkness yet. That amorphous dark cloud of void and of your fears, full of your worries, full of your sadness and depression. If you don't go into that, you won't get to the paradise on the other side. You got to go through the Black Forest in order to get to the Garden of Eden, says Duncan Trussell. So we got to understand that on the other side of shadow work is bliss, is happiness, is opportunity, is feeling light, it's being positive, it's, being energized. And this is a lifelong journey, right? You don't just do a shadow work course once and then leave it. You keep exploring because there's new experiences. Maybe you'll get new traumas. Maybe you'll get new different things happening to you that kind of shake you at your core. Or, heartbreak is essentially ego break, right? It's a sense of you getting to that level of truth where you can be like, wait a minute, I need to actually do something for myself. I've been completely off, walking around on eggshells and being the type of person that I did not want to be. Right, around this person. And what does that say about me? You see, the things that irritate you about other people are usually things which make you understand yourself better. You see, the bad people out there, they're just playing their role. You've got to play your role as well. Okay, maybe there's some bad people watching this channel. What is bad besides something that doesn't fit into the norm, something that is, counterculture, something that people don't understand, so they demonize? You got to understand a few things, okay? If you're going to be on this channel, you got to understand a few things. Stop being the opposite of who you really are. Okay, stop perpetuating that. Better to be an honest street sweeper than to be a dishonest king. So a lot of the times people need to get to this crisis moment or this nervous breakdown to finally understand that I need to do something to change my life. Okay? Before that, they were living unconsciously. You see this a lot with celebrities. They get to one point where they crumble, they entirely fall down, they break. But that breaking is a breaking of the ego. They finally find their authentic selves. Look at Shia LaBeouf, look at Miley Cyrus, look at all of these artists who've gone and then, right? But then that they've been able to maneuver. Okay, some of them, not all of them, have been able to maneuver well. So, Pol Pot thought they were doing good. Hitler thought they were doing good. Coney, if you remember Coney back in the day, right, thought they were doing good. Stalin thought they were doing good. Any of these so-called leaders. Don't trick yourself into thinking, because the world is bad, I feel like shit. Okay, because of the president, I feel like shit right now. Okay, that's the real shadow work where you go, it's not about them, or them. It's about me. One finger pointing at the person, three fingers pointing back, right? Also, another thing that I see quite a lot for flow Jedis who are just starting out, or they're unsure of how to do this thing, right? And that's why they're on a channel like this, trying to get that expert understanding. And yeah, I will say I'm an expert. I'm not saying it like, you know, some kind of a, you know, flex, or like, you know, a braggadocious switch in me that tells me to say that. I've genuinely been interested in flow state for the longest time ever, okay? Ever since I was like 18 or something like that, right? Like, I'm 29 now, right? Next year I'll be 30, okay? So understand that I have a lot of years into this, okay? I'm not like a newborn in this game of flow state. So you gotta understand that, first of all, repetition matters. Experience over the years matters, okay? Now, you don't just respect someone just because they're older than you, or they have more, you know, leverage or respect than you. It's about the character. It's about who they're being. I will gladly learn from an 18-year-old kid, man. I'm not opposed to that. A lot of people are. I'm not opposed to learning from someone who's very, very old, right? Because they have so much life experience and they were living at a different time than me, so I can get a very unique perspective from them, okay? You can't block yourself off from communication thinking only these people will help me learn. I learn so many things what not to be from people, right? I go, that's not right, okay? What they're doing is kind of messed up. And then you start to reflect on your own life, like, where is it that I do that, right? Like, this person is insecure in that moment. Where's my insecurity? Where does my insecurity come up, right? Because I know I trigger a lot of people. I love that comment, by the way, brother, where you were like, you know, oh man, this really, I'm resisting watching this video just 15 seconds into the video, right? And that's why I know I've got to do this. I've got to follow through with this. Like, that is shadow work. That is you owning your own self-awareness, bro. And so I respect that. Like, the people who just come and they spew hate or negativity, I want nothing to do with that. And honestly, more so nowadays, I get people backing off. When I challenge them, right, they just go, oh. Earlier in the past, I wouldn't be able to maintain that frequency because I did go from a very, like, I went both ends of the spectrum, right? I went complete rap battle mode, which is like verbal destruction. But then I also went into a very calm space of everything's fine and I accept everybody and I will tolerate everything. Okay, I've been in that state too. But then I had to find my flow state, find my middle ground, who is the most authentic me that is wanting to express himself right now. So don't be numb from taking in so much data. Good and evil are these mental constructs, and good relativizes the evil and evil relativizes the good. So knowing and working with your own darkness is the best way to deal with the darkness of other people. If you're a healer, if you're a coach, if you're a change maker, if you're a transformational person, if you're an influencer, if you are anybody who makes any sort of impact in this world, knowing your darkness, embracing and owning your darkness, and releasing it, constricting it, right? We can only constrict it to a certain level. We can't get rid of it because it is us, okay? The darkness is a part of us. It's not separate from us. So it's got to be integrated. You can't stop facing the shadows. And people resist that, man. I was talking to my mom about this. Why would you look into your evil side and dark nature? Like, you only want to focus on the positive. How do you think I got to this positivity, bro? It was through going through my own hell, my own personal internal hell. Why do you think I became a flow state coach, brother? I became a flow state coach because I was completely out of the flow. I was apathetic. I had anxiety. I didn't want to feel like getting up in the morning, right? I felt the pangs of rejection, heartbreak, but these are things that we go through in life that morph us, you know, that start to shape our personalities, because our personalities become our survival strategies, right? As I've said many times. So the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you, said Rumi. What does that really mean, man? It's that we all, whatever we see in another person. So if you're respecting people, if you're gassing them up, that is within you. If you're getting annoyed at people all the time and this person's irritating me, that person's irritating me, you gotta point the finger at you. You can't keep pointing the finger at them, that they're the problem. They're a problem sometimes, but you can't control that. You can only control your response to that problem. You can only do the internal character development work. Like, you're trying to change the world to try to change yourself. You got to change yourself to change the world. It starts with one person, man. I realized flow state was my magnum opus because of all my mentors and like putting in the time of like spending like probably $10,000 or something on courses and books. And I say that not to flex, because again, it was an unconscious process. I was just brain dumping at that point. You get what I'm saying? I was reading like so many books, but was I learning and implying anything from those books, right? It's like, was I taking the golden nuggets and integrating it, embodying it as a part of my lifestyle, being a completely new person? You gotta know where you stand, bro. And if you don't know where you stand, you're on weak foundation. That's why you got to start with the basics: cold shower, meditation. Why do you think people tell you to do this, right? Morning routine, all this stuff. It's the foundation of a really dope life. Oh, I recommend cold showers. I recommend you have a wake up time and a lockdown time. Push yourself in some way. So it doesn't have to be cold shower. Let's say you're in a really freezing ass country, right? Just maybe a 30-second cold shower blast, right, at the end of your shower, or something where you take a block of ice and you squeeze it, or you put it on your body or something like that, right? Or you quickly splash cold water on your face to kind of get that blood flow in there, right? There's so many alternatives, and you don't need to go with the predetermined path of just like this. You got to stack it. You got to do the best that you can do in that moment, the next best thing that you can do in that moment. Right? That's how you generate flow state. My business coach, Joe, he helped me kind of get to this was the flow state that I really needed to make my thing, right? From his process of create your own business wisely. Create your own business wisely was a part of his entire program that I went through, actually. And it really helped me to get clear on what it was that I needed to do in my business at the time. Because I was originally a creativity coach, if you guys didn't know. I transformed into a peak performance coach from working with Joe. And I understood that there was greater scope of helping others and really being in my own niche and in my own field where I could dominate this industry through my own practical spiritual application, helping men, helping people from different walks of life. And I respect the people who do their research, who look at what I do. Oh, I heard that you're a positive psychologist. I learned that you help people get into the state of flow. That's what I heard the other day from a specific client who came to visit me. And that was great to hear too. And, that's inspiring to me because someone is willing to put in their time to improve themselves, to really, go through their own internal feeling of inner conflict to get to that inner bliss. And I'm here to help you do that. If you're struggling with that for a while, and you're like, I don't know where to turn, man, there's this dude on YouTube who can maybe help though, right? Like, reach out to me, man. Like, I'm here to listen, even as a friend, I don't need to, sell you my product or whatever. Like, if you genuinely need someone to talk to, like, reach out. Because I think that a lot of people, they're like, oh, my time is valuable. And they freaking, they push people away from actually helping the planet, man. And of course I have my boundaries too. You can't just contact me past my working hours or just be weird and clingy, right? That's not going to work either for me. But if you're like, yo, I need some help, let me reach out to you when I can get that help. When some people work with the opportunities. Like this person who came to me the other day, they were like, I want to show you this demonstration. And they came to me at the right time, right place, 5 minutes before one of my other sessions. So I got to kind of be like, yo, okay, this person wants to talk to me just for 5 minutes. I made a rule, right? I made a boundary to myself, only 5 minutes. I'm not going to go beyond that time. Okay, you have 5 minutes to pitch to me your product or whatever it is, right? You got to have boundaries like this in life. If you want to be a leader, if you want to have, flow state mastery, if you want to be the type of person where people see your charisma, you can feel it, right? It emanates off of you. Someone the other day told me I look like this Turkish star, which was kind of cool too. I'm getting compliments hella left and right nowadays, man. It's wild. It's kind of trippy to me, actually, how I haven't actually accessed my true skill. Like, if you put me into an environment and I look at that environment like a learning simulation, I'm going to take over that learning simulation. Undeniable, okay? And I say that with all positivity and humbleness, because a lot of the times I didn't feel like that. And that's why I feel so good saying it nowadays, right? That I can actually go and speak with people and like start to do these things, because earlier I would have extreme social anxiety. I would just freeze up. I wouldn't know what to say, right? Specifically around hot women. Like, I did not know what to say. I did not know, like, oh, what do I say next? That's not the key, bro. The key is not, what do I say next? You have to get to a point where whatever you're expressing, it feels good to express it because it's coming from you, bro. You have that self-love where you're like, yo, it's coming out of my lips, bro. Right? Like this, it's coming from that dripping honey, Bollywood, Indian, nonchalance, cool kid, cool cat that's just ripping life, That's what you got to be like. The question isn't, am I good or am I evil? The question is, am I being effective in life or am I being ineffective in life? Are the things that I'm doing working for me and actually genuinely making my life better? Or are they like kind of gravitating me into this weird place where I'm not getting the results? I'm feeling unhappy all the time, I can't get the energy to actually do things anymore, and I feel this panic in my chest, right? Where are you like, what is your life really telling you, revealing to you? Because that's going to tell you the level of your transformation and change. If you're going through hell right now, I would say that's the slingshot up, where if you can integrate and go through that and actually process that, you can get an amazing life on the other side of this thing, man. So if you're suffering right now, learn to optimize and use it and transmute that pain into fuel. Let's go already. I heard this the other day, man. Someone said this and I thought it was really funny. They said, heartbreak is my pre-workout, which I thought was a hilarious way of putting it. But that's the way you got to transmute this thing, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, you really got to know yourself, know thyself, okay? It's so important to do that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Another rant, I know, but I love speaking like this, just openly in front of a camera, By the way, this is I know this is a Sri Yantra, but it's inspired by Metatron, Archangel Metatron, and I'm working with that energy. Metatron's energy is very similar to flow state, so that's why I choose to work with that energy. And great things have been happening, More money's been flowing in, and just, it's slowly picking up. Things are picking up. So I'm glad to share this journey with you and my YouTuber, and my YouTube Padawans, flow state Jedis out there watching, all sharpening their, lightsabers, which is their minds, to try to manifest the greatest possible versions of themselves. So I wish you well. May the flow be with you. And may you never be the same again. Let's go.